Well, we had some overnight export sales activity. It was some soybeans that were sold to China and also unknown destinations. Together, the two sales amounted to just a little over 500,000 tons. So they seem to really prop up the soybean market today. But the other grains couldn't really keep up. And let's take a look at what the market is doing right now with our quotes provided by Bar Chart. So the corn market did try to follow along a little bit. It got as high as 645.5 on that March contract, and then kind of eased back just a little bit. We're now at 643 per bushel, which would be 2.5 cents higher than our close yesterday. Now on the soybeans, they really had their act together for a while. We had January getting as high as 1470.5 before it kind of ran out of gas, and now we're at 1463.25. Still a pretty strong gain, though. We're up 25.5 cents on the day. March is now up 23 cents. Now, when the soybeans made their big move here about a half an hour ago, they pulled the wheat up to where it was basically unchanged to a little higher, maybe. And March Chicago wheat is at 733 3/4 now. Starting to ease back again. We're down 5.25 cents. In the Kansas City market, let's go with that same March contract. It's now down 12.5 cents at 829.25. That would be about 2 cents from our low of the day. And in Minneapolis, spring wheat, March is now quoted at 8.98, so we're under $9, down 4 cents on the day. In the cotton trade, the March contract now 89 points higher. We're back up to 84.75 per pound. I want to welcome aboard Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. He joins us for an update on conditions in that mid-Atlantic region there. And well, Ben, Tim Ross just put up his radar map for that region of the country there. Looks like you probably will need to have an umbrella and maybe some galoshes handy there over the next few days. What's it doing out there in farm ground country?
Good morning, Marlin. That is a very good description. And from what Tim showed a few minutes ago, we're kind of at the beginning of this. Fortunately, harvest is 99% done. You got to look pretty hard to find corn or beans standing. So the rain that's coming now, we have to be thankful it's December, that it's not snow, that it is just rain, but pretty much a good time to be in the shop and do some evaluating on how things turned out in 2022.
Anytime you look at the calendar where it is right now and you see a radar map like we're looking at on the screen right now with a lot of moisture moving through it just makes it feel like hunting season outside.
Well, it certainly does. We're at the tail end of whitetail deer hunting season. I'm sure the wet weather's certainly giving people time, but probably giving them a little bit of pause. What we're finding farmers doing right now, this time of year, especially this week with all the rain, it's decision time. They're getting a little bit of time to think. They're not in the combine and running it 24/7 or 7 days and 20 hours a day. Anyhow, they're starting to look, balancing the books, seeing. They've accumulated the biggest in most cases with all the inflation in the fertilizer market. They've accumulated the biggest, most expensive year that they likely have ever had, especially on a per acre basis. And in many cases, it's time for paying off some of those remaining bills and deciding whether to sell corn or beans and what time. And not that they don't make those decisions while they're in the combine, while they're working. This is just a good week to begin evaluating some of that and what they're going to do going forward.
Have you noticed if they have done any extra advanced booking for next year, just for tax reasons here at the end of the year?
Well, it's also December. We definitely are seeing it's big in our geography. To be ordering seed corn, I believe 80 to 85% of corn and soybeans that'll be planted April and May of 23 will be booked by the middle of this month. So certainly that's top of mind on a rainy day. Of course, the farmers know unless they lock that shop door, they're going to I have probably 5 different seed brands knocking on the door or calling or texting asking if they can stop by. And that's an important part, so the seed companies, they're cleaning and bagging, and they need to logistically get things shipped around. But there's definitely that has begun. Seed, early order fertilizer, and honestly, early order chemicals has become a bigger thing the last 2 or 3 years for sure, with all the challenges in today's world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, after last year and the short supply, I don't think anybody wants to be left out in the cold again if they have a chance to lock stuff in right now. You can't blame anyone. Well, Ben, thank you for the update, and hope the weather holds up for you out there. Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. We'll come back in a moment, and I'll get you updated on cattle and hog markets next.